Abel, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and to talk about APUA and what you've been doing over the last couple of months. We're really excited to be having the chance to speak to you. We know how busy your diary is.
Yes, thank you, Claire. It's a pleasure for me to speak to you and a bit about APUA. The Association of Power Utility of Africa is a continental non-profit organization. It has been created in 1970 with the name of Union of Producers, Transporters, and Distributors of Energy, Electric Energy in Africa, UPDA. And then we bear this name for 40 years. And in 2012, we rebrand the association and decide to change in Association of Power Utility of Africa. And with a strategic repositioning in Africa. And the objective is still the same, is together all our stakeholder, power utility and related company and stakeholder to make electricity available, affordable for all people of Africa. This is our vision. So is the promotion of development and integration of power sectors, power sector in Africa. And the route we went through for this 50-year, we celebrated the 50-year anniversary in July in our 20th Congress, is to organize the sector, the power sector in Africa. First of all, just after creation in 1970, we created the High School of Engineers based in Bengueville, Côte d'Ivoire, who train very high-level skilled engineer, bilingual. There are almost 250 over 20 years of training of the high school. You are working with many of them today, all they're in charge of power sector in the World Bank, in African Development Bank, the CEO of Senegal, Niger, Burkina Faso, all those countries, the CEO are from this school, as well as the Secretary General of the West Africa Power Pool and others. Even the in charge, the master in charge of energy in World Bank is from this school. So this is the main achievement in human resource capitalizing to run the power sector after the independence in Africa. So along this, we started in the end of 90s, the reorganization of the power sector, because at this time, only the South African Power Pool was created. So we work with the regional economic communities and the Ministry of Energy to create the Western African Power Pool, the Central African Power Pool, and the Eastern African Power Pool. And recruited even the first permanent secretary or secretary general of those power pool at this stage in early 2000. So today we have COMELEC, we have the 4 regions, Sub-Saharan have the power pools. And then they are in charge of development of the interconnection of their region and the regional market. And since 2005, APUA signed a memorandum of understanding with all the power pool, with AFREC, with the African Union Commission, to manage what we call the Forum of Regional Power Pools. This forum, APUA is the coordinator, and has been created in 2005 in Lusaka, Zambia. And in this forum, we every year gather to see the level of development of the regional market and what we need to do to integrate those markets. We just finished last week the annual meeting of PowerPool in Dakar, hosted by the West African PowerPool. And incredibly, we are heading to have the second operational regional market in Western Africa PowerPool in the coming 12 months or 16 months. The coordination center is completed. The engineers are working already. There are more than 12 persons in this 24/7 coordination center. If today seated in Benin at this center, any default in Senegal or in Gambia, they will say, look, this is this line at this time, real time. So we know that the operation market, the first was South Africa PowerPool with the coordination center in Harare. The second one, operational, will be Cotonou with WAP. And then we are supporting, backing the Eastern African and Central African to go the same way. So there will bring me, why are we doing this? Is to reach the African single electricity market. We are doing all this to combine, to integrate, to have one market where you can say, look, I'm in South Africa, but the energy in Cairo is better for me, and you purchase. That is the final destination we are focusing. So by developing the regional market, by integrating them, by harmonizing the grid code and the market rule, we are preparing the African single electricity market. This, the principle of the African single electricity market, had been launched by the chairperson of the African Union, 3rd of June 2020, and APUA work with the African Union Commission, and we are well supported by the Commission of Energy of Europe, who sent us a technical staff team to work 2 years with us remotely during 2020, in physics, in presence, in 2019, to prepare the condition for this market. So today, a full regulatory utility forum, APUA, and this is accompanied by the development of the Continental Master Plan. And the Continental Master Plan is the hard part of it, is development of infrastructure. The African single electricity market is the soft part of it, is trade, and this is the link with the African free trade zone. There is the link. We are talking about our product electricity integrated to the African free trade zone. So this is our free trade zone in electricity, the AFCEM. So AFCEM is a branch of the African free zone, whose headquarters is installed in Ghana. This is the link of the development in terms of power. What we are focusing at the end of this year, among the 14 countries of West Africa, 13 will be fully interconnected. Real interconnection on service. Only one country, Bissau Guinea, and the island one, Cape Verde, will not be connected, and coming soon because, you know, the undersea cable, the two cables that we have are between Morocco and Spain and working. So our market is already connected to Europe through Spain. But Cape Verde is farther than from Dakar to Cape Verde, is farther than from Spain to Morocco. So this would be a big challenge to interconnect them. Apart of this, all Western African countries are being interconnected. The synchronization is on the way. The Western African market is divided in three: the Eastern, the Central, and the West. The Western and the Eastern had been synchronized already, 23rd October last, and the test of interconnecting the Central and the West is on the way. So now all the countries are interconnected, but they're not synchronized. But this is, I mean, electrician detail. The main fact is that they are interconnected. But working in the same system is coming soon because you need to synchronize. There come AFSEC. Why do we need standard? Because we are all former colonized country with different system, the French speaking, the English speaking, the Spanish, Portuguese, and you have a very large range of voltage in the continent. How do we interconnect all this? We are now harmonizing, we are working with AFSEC to promote the same grid code to be able to physically interconnect and, I mean, regularly trade. If not, you may have power, but you never know how to trade. So the next focus of APUA is to put in place the priority action for the advent of the single electricity market to accompany our utility on the right transition, just transition for Africa, and to protect them on the way, the long way of digitalization, because all is good, all is fine, smart, but it's very, very critical. We were in full meeting last week where Gambia had an attack in a central bank. Central Bank of Gambia was attacked. In June was Idia Mali. All the system of the utility was down, possessed by the hacker for one day. Imagine where you have your revenue. Imagine where you have your prepaid meter. Imagine how people cannot buy energy because your system is possessed by hacker. So we have a very large program of development of cybersecurity study, level of protection of our member, and also how can we put in place a center to, like a watch center for criminality on the net to protect the revenue of utility. So this is the coming month. What we are committed to do is to continue developing the access to electricity, because with the African Development Bank, we say in 2030, we need universal access. This universal access we compose of grid, off-grid, solar, roof panel, any mean that bring light to people. And the second step is, how do we have enough power for our industry?
Yeah, of course.
So it's lighting and powering. If you see the new complex put in place by ADB, many people ask, why are they talking about power and energy? because they are two different things. Don't miss them. You may have energy, but you never have reliable power.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So we make the difference, and we are working to combine both of them. To combine both of them. So people should have power. People should have industry working for us to give job to those new people. Because don't forget, we are 8 billion on the earth. Africa is heading to 2 billion in 2050. Half of them are under 20 years. If you don't do job, this is a real Molotov cocktail.
Yes.
Explosion. You cannot handle them. Their need is very urgent. You need to face it. And
Yeah.
all this need pass through power. This is what is giving us headache, but we
I
are
can
very well.
imagine. I can imagine. Um, so you mentioned, of course, that the idea behind the single Africa electricity
Electricity market.
market is that we would be able to trade electricity freely. A lot of the East African countries are connected, but what are the things that are holding back a full-scale power pool and interconnection between, say, the East African power pool and Southern Africa and West Africa? Are there any? Is it just a matter of time? Are there any specific reasons that are delaying that integration?
We are in a sector where any projects are in billion. No matter the currency that we have is in
Yeah,
billion. So the project crossing several countries, regional projects, the way to finance them and to succeed is that every country will participate with the selection on its territory, where a part of funding is regional. And this some missing link, because through the PIDA, the Program and Development of Infrastructure in Africa, all the highway of energy were designed. So like you take the development of Eastern Africa is led by green energy from dam from Ethiopia.
yeah,
And then Ethiopia is already connected to Sudan. Sudan is connected to Egypt. And Ethiopia is connected to Kenya. And now we take ZTK, Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya. This will be the main road bringing East Africa to Central. And you read Tanzania to South, excuse me, to South, but Tanzania. And you reach Tanzania, you are approaching the southern countries. And Mozambique is already going to South Africa, going its way to reach Malawi and the part between Malawi, Uganda, and Tanzania. Where this is solved, and you may notice that we have different source of power. We have gas, we have solar, and we have hydro. So the interconnection are going with the greening of the power also. Yes, gas will remain crucial for the transition, but the development of hydro, solar, and wind is accompanied, because in Kenya, you have solar, you have geothermal, you have hydro, on incineration. All this is combined in the network coming from east to south. The real problem today is in Central Africa because the development of DRC is not following the path. The development, if we don't have INGA, is a real missing link. INGA is crucial. INGA is the powerhouse to go from INGA to West Calabar, to go from INGA to South Africa, and to go from INGA to Egypt. So this crucial part missing. So yes, you are right. The interconnection, we have problem, because if we don't solve the real development of INGA problem, a central missing link will remain in the system. This is where the problem is. So I said nothing, all are connecting. Last month, the connection between Morocco and Mauritania is done. So we don't have problem enough. East is progressing. We don't have problem in the west. South is already on the way. So the missing link is where we need to work in the African, Central African countries. This will be the missing.
I mean, it's encouraging though to see that we are making progress. You know, I
Yes.
understand that, especially, you know, these are projects that are long in the making, and hopefully, you know, the East African side, as you said, there are already a lot of interconnections between some of those countries. So I think pulling it together is probably not going to be as, you know, is perhaps not going to take as long. It is just that central kind of the spoke of that wheel that that is then going to need to be shored up. And you know, hopefully it's an area that has had a lot of interest. So hopefully it's going to be something we'll see happening fairly soon.
Yes, but the combination between mining and energy will boost this development, and where the mining are, they are good off takers, so we need to focus that way. By powering the mining industry, we have a good customer and credit-worthy customer, and that will build the system definitively. And all these Central African countries have mines, so
yeah, that's probably already lots of discussions going on there.
Yeah.
Abel, so in addition to the single African electricity market, another initiative that I know you have been working very hard on is the development of smart metering standards for the continent. Can you share a little bit more about why that is so important for APUA, and just sort of the progress of those standards, who you've been working with, and when we can expect that standard to be rolled out?
Now we are in good track because the Association of Meter Producer, at least in South Africa, is already in this committee working together with AFSEC. And why we raise this issue, because we are submerged by many offer of meters. We receive many offer, I mean, we utilities, but not all the meters are doing well. So we need to say, look, you want to sell, this is our standard. Imagine when you want to send a car to UK and you don't have a right hand wheel. They will not buy it. They are not used to it.
Yeah.
So let's say in Africa, these are our challenge. The meter have to respond to this. The meter, we don't focus, we don't think that only one producer, we produce all the meter for all Africa. No. But we want one characteristic for all. We want one standard for all. If you want to produce your meter, you want to sell your meter in Africa, these are all the standards. In these standards, all the leading firm will endorse it. APUA will endorse like a regulation that we put in place. And with a specific producer, we are working even to have an APUA endorsed meter. So if you touch it, say this is the one responding to all challenges that the utility are facing. This also will bring us to have a high quality with a less price. Because when you develop your own product, you can put enough guarantee on it and have the best price. Because if we are talking about universal access, we are talking about high revenue people and low revenue people. We don't want the connection to be an issue. We don't want people to be connected with our meter. That is a source of no technical losses. So we need the meter to be popular. We need the meter to be a state-of-art meter and less price. So this meter produced in Africa will beat in standard and in price only any meter brought from any part. That is not meaning that we don't want to trade with other parts of the world. The market is open. But please send us a meter with the same standard, and that can be used in Africa. So this is all behind this. We need to clean up our network also, because Africa is known to be having a very high level of losses. One part is metering. One part is non-technical. The main part is non-technical losses, and one part of this is metering. So we are taking step by step. As we solve this metering problem, now we are go further to see which are the cable we are using and so forth. But today, by this period, we back the development of central electricity market with a type of smart meter. So as we are going smart, we are going right smart. We are going with a good product. So this development is on the way, and we think that at the end of 2023, we are hoping to issue this product, because we are now prepared, and after the end of the year, festive time, now we go straight on business, and probably our affiliate member, leading company in charge of this project will invite us to South Africa, I imagine Durban, to have a seminar and launch this concept. So this will be part of our next year program.
Because I suppose, you need to be looking at, especially if you're doing something that is a continental standard, you also need to be looking at meters that can operate in very noisy technical environments, but that can also withstand very normal or basic environmental things like the ingress of say sand because of very windy environments or very sandy environments or a lot of high heat, let alone then the peculiarities of each one of our individual system setups. So I imagine that the need for something like this to be fairly robust is really quite pressing from an African perspective, and especially in order to address some of these issues around non-technical losses. That level of insight is going to significantly improve utility operations.
Yes, because within the meter we have what is technical, just calculation and process, but what is physical? And the environment is very important to be taken into account so that the meter resists. Africa is very diverse. We have all range of climate in Africa. So while we are talking about Africa is not one country, but is 54 with different climate zones. So this product is very important to be developed, taking into account that it's snowing sometime in some places where you have 50 on the shade, 50 degrees on shade in the other places. So that is the issue.
Yes,
and it's
exactly.
very wet, so humidity, some are dry, some are sandy. So this is not easy, but our engineers are working very well, and are taking into account all these challenges. Yeah.
So a last question for you today is, what does the next 12 to 18 months contain? I mean, I know that there's work that is going on in terms of the single electricity market. You are making great strides in terms of that interconnection between the power pools. You've got the smart metering standard. What else is on your radar to keep you busy during the day and keep you up at night?
We need to frankly discuss and find a way for a just transition, because many things can be said and many concept ideas had been raised, but we need to find a good directives. And a part of this, we need to boost access to energy, because we have been talking about 2030. We are approaching in it. Where are we? What is the way to go quickly? Because when we were talking about 2030, we have no focus on, we have no idea about the period after COVID, after war in Europe. So that very heavy, difficult days are coming. We want to prepare our utility to face this. How to save the value chain, how to trade within Africa to be less dependent of outside. Because if we don't save the value chain, we stop business. As we stop business, we lose our trends, we cannot reach our objective. So one is to save value chain. Second is to focus our target of universal access using the right technology, the right sources, and continue developing this market.
Yeah.
So in the coming 12, 18 months, we need to prepare our CEOs for this challenge. They are entering turbulent zone. Any pilots should be prepared to cross the turbulent zone.
Yeah, we shortly after I saw you in Cape Town in June, I did a trip to East Africa, and so many of the people that we spoke to, when we asked them what their main kind of priority was, what the main thing was that was causing them headaches, the top response was access. And I think, in the drive toward a just transition, we may have lost sight a little bit of the fact that we also need to include access to energy as part of that transition. It's not just climate change that is affecting people. It's also a lack of access to electricity and to
Yes.
and that is part of the just transition discussion that we do need to be having. It's not just about mitigating and adapting to climate change. It's also about economic development for so many people.
if you want my usual, image I give, people, they finish eating, they're having dessert. You don't have your starter, and I want you to shoot the same dessert. I don't know my starter. I don't have the main course. I cannot jump on the dessert. I can't. What is climate change or transition for somebody who never have a light? What does it mean for him? He wants just light.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is the issue. So we need to take this into account to say, okay, we need to go 2 steps. One step for advanced country to follow the path for environment to save the climate. Another path for people who need just this energy. And giving them, now we know that we cannot give them anyhow. We need to preserve environment. So by giving to those people, we need to go as clean as possible. But let us use all that we have to start giving at least light to those people who are in darkness. They need it, they need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the concept of energy justice is a very important conversation for us in Africa to be having, because it ties in with everything. It's the transition, it's the fairness of that transition, it's affordability discussions. There's our landscape is incredibly nuanced, and I think for us to think that there's a single answer or a single way to tackle this very complex, multifaceted problem is not necessarily thinking about all of the challenges that we have to face. But we also have some amazing opportunities, and
Yes.
we need to focus on those as well. Yeah. Abel, so before I end, I just wanted to ask, is there any last comment that you would like to make, or any key message you would like to share with the people that are going to be watching this interview?
I would like to urge all our components, being association, being institution, to finish week talk show and to start action show, only action. Because the time we are talking is too much. We need now to be concrete, because people are getting enough of all our gathering, all our high level conference. They need concrete action. This line or this station or the solar plant, we have been talking for a year. When are we starting? This is what they want to know. And we need to do more with the little we have, because very hard days are coming. So let's wisely use financial resources to do more with what we have, because we can get into a scarcity that we cannot have access as before. Many people are talking about new resetting. This resetting, no matter how it's happened, will touch energy first, because we are the one who need more funding in the all economic system. The economic life starts by solving energy problem, but solving it wisely and very quickly. That is the key message. So we are the main component of the system. So our action will show where our economy are heading to. This is our responsibility.
I like that. I think that is a brilliant call for action. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop talking. Let's start doing. Love that. And we need to do more with the little that we have. And I think those two are a perfect call to action and a perfect way for us to finish this conversation. So, Engineer Abel Tella, Secretary General for APUA, thank you so very, very much for taking the time to share your insights. It's always lovely to see you. And yeah, we will be catching up with you soon, I'm sure, to find out how some of these incredible plans are progressing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.